Welcome to the Imperfect Dads podcast.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Devin.
We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids,
but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like.
Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood.
And how they feel like they're holding it all together.
Or how they're not.
Thank you for joining us for this episode. For this episode, we decided to do something in honor of Father's Day. This episode is about taking your kids to their first sporting events and how you can make a tradition out of it. So we have on Bennett Piispanen and a father and son duo, Dennis and Tyler Glazier. Everyone on this call, including Justin, are Cincinnati Red fans. Bennett talked to us about taking his oldest to a Reds game, and now he's making a tradition with his two other kids once they reach a certain age. Tyler talks to us about how he took pretty much his newborn baby to opening day for the Reds. And Dennis talks about how he took Tyler to a Reds game whenever he was 3 weeks old and whenever he was 3 years old, and how he used season tickets as a way to hang out with all of his sons. This episode was a lot of fun, but it's probably even more fun if you're from Cincinnati and a Cincinnati sports fan. I think sports is something that almost always ties dads to their kids or ties their kids to their dads. So thought it'd be really fun to have these guys on to talk about sports and how people make traditions out of them. And also just like one more thing.
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway, so Justin, how this whole conversation came about was I was hanging out with Bennett and Tyler, and they were talking about going to Reds games and bringing their kids to the first ever Reds games and how much fun that was. And I was like, oh, I bet like that would make a decent podcast episode, because there are tons of dads who are like, hey, how do I went to games with my dad. I did all this. How do I continue this tradition? So they both agreed to do the episode. And then Tyler was like, hey, I'm with my dad, who is the reason I'm a Reds fan.
So how do you know Tyler and Bennett?
Okay, first I'm going to make everyone, I'm going to make everyone say their name or like introduce themselves. That way we have a name with a voice, because there are 5 people on this call. So Bennett, if you want to introduce yourself first, maybe say who you are, how many kids you have, all that good stuff.
I'm Bennett. I have 3 kids. They are turning 6, 4, and 2. 2 girls are the older ones, and then I have a boy who's turning 2 this year.
Go ahead. I'm Tyler. I just had my first child. He is 5 months old.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah. So I'm the newbie on this podcast.
Yes.
I happen to be on vacation right now at the beach. First beach trip with the 5-month-old, and I'm at my parents' condo in Florida. And I said, well, if we're going to talk about people taking their kids to baseball games, I know an expert.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And my dad's here, so this is my dad.
I'm here. I'm Dennis.
Hi, Dennis.
Father of 5 boys, Tyler being the oldest. So we used baseball as a way to spend one-on-one time with each of the boys.
That's awesome.
We've had season tickets since the year Tyler was born, and just took the kids.
Wow. So are all 3 of you guys from the Cincinnati area?
Yeah, we are. And then Bennett is. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm from Northern Kentucky, so I grew up with the Reds, Chris Sabo, Eric Davis, Barry Larkin. That was
Barry Larkin.
Yeah.
I had a Barry Larkin poster in my room. That was
he was my favorite.
Yeah.
And Chris Sabo. I like Chris Sabo with his little goggles.
With the glasses. Yeah.
One of the dads in my neighborhood growing up was a foot doctor, and he was Barry Larkin's foot doctor. And he took us down to the clubhouse one time when he was going to go for a checkup or something, and he took us down there. So we got to hang out with. I remember us sitting on a couch in the clubhouse with Hal Morris and Chris Sabo.
Oh man!
And Barry Larkin, and I was just like petrified. As like an 8-year-old kid, I was just like,
"That's awesome!
That's awesome!"
Yeah.
And Justin, how I know these guys. We all technically went to Belmont together, but didn't really know each other whenever at Belmont. They both were a grade above me, but. Bennett and I worked at Hester and Cook for a little bit, and I would watch Bennett's oldest daughter whenever we became a stay-at-home dad. You know how much childcare costs in Nashville. So I watched his oldest daughter for a year or 2, and then I would go to those like vinyl nights, and Tyler was there. I was like, oh wait, I know who you are. Like we've seen you at Belcourt and Grimey's for a couple of decades, and then I was like, oh yeah. Went to college at the same time.
I'll make another connection there.
Yeah.
Devin was the DJ at my wedding.
Yeah, that's right.
And Tyler was at my wedding as well.
Yeah.
And so that's...
Were you a good DJ, Devin?
As a DJ, I can't decide if I was a good DJ or not. I played the playlist and people do what they do, you know?
I don't remember anything bad going wrong.
That's good.
Exactly.
That's good.
Exactly.
That used to be my wedding gift to people is I would be like, if you provide the sound equipment, I'll let them see your wedding and have fun. So,
Dude, that's awesome, man. I guess I never knew that about you.
Bennett and I have a weird connection because we're both from Cincinnati, but we didn't know each other until we went to Belmont. And I actually had a bad college roommate just paired for me who went to high school with Bennett.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
We won't say the name.
Yeah.
after my first semester, but like I guess we had made the connections. Like, oh yeah, we're from Cincinnati. So yeah, we've been friends since 2005. So
That's
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
What
We
dorm,
we
was your freshman dorm?
Pembroke.
mine
Your
was
Pembroke-
Maddox.
Oh.
Yeah, you were at Maddox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at Maddox,
Yeah.
but we actually met Tyler at the summer orientations
Mhm.
Yes.
because that's when I was like, okay, I know somebody from Cincinnati. This is going to be a lot easier. This is going to be a lot easier.
it's too funny. Like whenever you see somebody with a Cincinnati hat on, or for me, UK basketball, I'm a huge UK fan. Just seeing somebody with a hat on, I would always be like, "Oh man, yes, you're from Cincinnati or you're from Kentucky. I love it. Instant connection, instant friendship right there."
But then you go back to Cincinnati and I go visit home and everyone's wearing Cincinnati gear. And I'm like, it's like when you're in Nashville and you see it and you're like, oh, I got to talk to this person.
Yes.
Then you go back home and you're like, everyone's wearing Reds gear. And that instinct to go talk to people, it's like,
You'd have to talk to everybody. Hey.
Yeah. If I saw an Indiana license plate in Nashville or at Belmont's campus, I'd be like, oh, I should know you, right? It's like, Devin, Indiana's a massive state. Like, you're from the smallest, most southern tip possible.
So you guys are Reds fans. Are you Bengals fans as well?
yeah, I think for me, football was hard to get into because the Bengals were so bad. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, Richard Bray. My family was friends with him.
Really?
So, yeah.
Being
One
a
of the old
Bengals fan
sinners.
growing up was tough in the 90s.
It was
It
tough.
was.
And then Carson Palmer came along.
Yeah.
It got a little better.
Yeah.
But
And then the Pittsburgh had to ruin it for us.
They did.
You can't really pitch the 1997 Bengals to, a 10-year-old kid when there's the Dallas Cowboys or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so early on, I was definitely a Bengals fan, and Icky Woods, loved him to death.
his
Boomer.
kid went to my elementary school when I was there.
Nice.
Yeah. Good old Icky.
Did he do the Icky shuffle?
He came in. Yeah, he came into the gym and during one of our whatever it's called, like rallies or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he did the Icky shuffle. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Actually, I think I have his autograph on like a random piece of paper, just like random piece of paper.
I went to Dixie.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to Dixie Heights. That's where I went to school at,
Okay.
and we had UK players and Cincinnati Bengals players play basketball against each other. It was the most odd, like, group that you could think of, and the only thing, like, I didn't bring anything to get autographs, so this is not it. But my dad got a paper plate from the cafeteria.
Are you serious?
So people could sign it.
That's so awesome.
So I have a paper plate somewhere around here with some Cincinnati Bengals players and UK players. It's good times.
So we've hijacked this podcast and it's just
No,
just Cincinnati.
Listen, as I told you via text, I knew what was going to happen whenever I invited 4 Cincinnati sports fans onto one podcast. So,
Well,
it's not awful.
So Dennis, correct? Ask you, since like the huge news about Pete Rose not being on the banned list anymore. Did you grow up
Pete Rose fan. Yeah.
during Pete Rose?
You couldn't help but
Yeah.
I mean, he's just an incredible baseball player. I remember.
You get to watch him?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh man.
All the time.
You were at
We
4192.
were at 4192.
You were at the hit game.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But one of my most vivid memories has nothing to do with playing baseball. He's playing softball in an exhibition game down at Expressway Park, and I'm standing, next to him, and the batter hits a screamer down third baseline. He dives into foul territory, backhands the ball, rolls once, gets up and throws to first for a double play. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is
Never gives up.
a softball game.
Charlie Hustle.
What year was that?
I don't even remember.
I've never heard that story. That's great.
Yeah.
That's
That was
awesome.
the softball field that I worked at in high school.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it was pretty something to see. It's like, wow, who does that?
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
Yeah, man.
Rose.
Are you guys excited that he's off? I know that it doesn't mean that he's gonna make it to the Hall of Fame, but it seemed like there were a lot of celebration going on.
I'm pretty, I don't know. I'm not happy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell us how you feel, Tyler.
Yeah.
I know how Tyler feels, but tell him.
I just like, what's the point? He's dead.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's almost cruel. It's crueler.
It's mean.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
mean.
It's very mean.
Meaner to just ban him forever, or to not, like, if they would have just banned him forever, that's fine. But like, to keep him out for his whole life and then immediately 6 months after he dies, that's to me is meaner. It's
Yeah.
Well,
I can see that.
especially when they did it, what, a day before his
Well,
Reds
that
night?
was a publicity thing.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
to have been, because even his
That was-
daughter in the speech, that his daughter, came out and talked, gave the speech before the Pete Rose Day, and she said she wanted to be the one to like make that announcement during that speech,
Yeah.
Man.
which is
That's
like,
shitty.
did they just say
Yeah.
you couldn't do that because they wanted to make the announcement? I want to hear
Yeah.
the story on that.
I did not know that.
I
Yeah,
didn't either.
it's all it feels, Pete Rose was not a good guy, but
Yeah.
defend him, but it just all feels like, just
It
almost-
wasn't handled well.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like poorly done.
Yeah. But that's what commissioners do, right? Am I right?
The bad guys.
They piss people off.
They kind of do.
I wonder how Shoeless Joe's family feels.
That was my immediate reaction was, if I was Shoeless Joe's family, I would be so upset because from their angle, it took 100 years
100 years.
and Pete Rose dying for the commissioner to basically be like, oh, we were reading the rules wrong. It actually means when you die.
Yeah.
Like that's basically, I would be so upset if I was Shoeless Joe's family. So,
Well,
it's a weird,
if
thing's weird.
the White Sox really did throw the game, I'm happy because the Reds won.
Yeah. we got our World Series card.
That's right. When was the last time the Reds went to the World Series? Was it like the 90s?
95?
Okay.
What
Which-
was it?
Which this ties into the whole podcast was,
Yeah.
he took me to, what game was it? Game 1 or 2?
It was game 5, wasn't it?
I don't,
Against the Pirates?
I was 3 years
When
old.
they-
It's literally my first memory. Like, I'm 3 years old. All I remember is being overwhelmed by the amount of people and the loudness. Like,
Yeah,
that's
that
my
makes sense.
memory of the game. It's just it being like more people than I'd ever seen before, more volume than I'd ever heard before. It was wild.
Awesome. Yeah, I have a feeling that it was probably similar to, like, for me, I went to a lot of UK basketball games, and for the Final Four when we were playing and Elite Eight, it just would shake the
Yeah.
building
Yeah.
type of atmosphere. That's just a special thing to be included in part of that.
That was a lot of fun. That was the clinching game, and then afterwards we walked up to Fountain Square.
Yeah.
Nice.
My shoulders. We won't do that anymore.
Yeah,
But yeah, that had to be terrifying for a 3-year-old. I'm sorry.
No, I can tell the story now.
Yeah. That's what counts.
I mean, I've probably already done that to my kids of like, hey, we're going to this event. Why? Because you'll remember it like in 20 years from now and you'll think it's special, even though right now it's causing a panic attack for you and you don't know how to communicate any of this.
Well, my mom, my grandfather, my mom's dad took her to see the Beatles,
Yeah.
the Red Stadium. And, it was the same thing. It was just like, this is history. I got to drag you out. And she, like, her whole memory is just everyone screaming. And, these 4 guys walk out and they look exactly the same. I think she thought they were all brothers.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's just like a traumatic experience. Just a bunch of girls.
Just
But-
only confusion. Yeah, I think My dad grew up in like Indiana and Illinois, and I'm pretty sure his 3 older sisters got to see the Beatles somewhere in Illinois, and all 3 of them talk about it. And he was like, I was too young to go to the concert. So glad you guys have this awesome memory. I didn't see the Beatles.
Yeah.
It's cool. So do you guys still have family that live up in Cincinnati?
So he still lives there. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Still have season tickets.
Still have season tickets.
Nice.
Me and my wife have done opening day since we started dating in 2016 was the first.
That's awesome.
We drive up every year and go see opening day. And this is the first year we got to take Casey, our son. He was 3 months old at the time. He was
Wow.
very, very young, but he was amazing. So like, I'm sure you guys know this, but there's a huge parade and it's a whole thing. It is not just a baseball game on opening day. And so we got down there at like 11 a.m. The parade started at noon. Game started at 4, was over around 7, and he was a champ. It was awesome. I mean,
That's
he
cool.
cry. I don't know if I can shout out products on this thing, but
Yeah.
If you want
Do
to,
it.
yeah.
Do it.
Were they earphones?
you guys know Dad Shirt?
Yeah,
You
you
were-
told me
you
about
were
this dad
telling it,
shirt.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
tell
were
us about
telling
this
us
dad
that.
shirt.
Yep.
RB she pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, you got to get one of these." And I bought them. They're like $75, but it's just like a kangaroo pouch. And I mean, I think you can wear them until they're 16 pounds. Yeah, man, it was. I don't think we could have done opening day without that. He just literally just was in the Dad Shirt the entire day.
Dad shirt. Heck yeah. If you're listening, Dad shirt, we will.
Yeah. We're looking for sponsors constantly. Please, dad shirt. And Bennett, your parents still live up in Cincy area, don't they?
Yep. So they all live up there still, and we try to go up there once a year. And when we're up there, we try to catch a couple games. We're going up there in July this year, and I think I'm going to be able to get. We're going to stay for a week, and I think I'm going to be able to get 3 games in. So
Nice.
that will be
That's cool.
that'll be fun.
See,
I mean, it's the Marlins and the Rockies, but
There you
a
go.
baseball game is a baseball game. So
That's right.
You leave those Rockies alone. They might have 10 wins by July, okay?
Tickets will be cheap.
yes,
Yeah.
they will. Yes, they will.
Well, my family ended up moving to Maryville, Tennessee in 2012. And I moved down here to Nashville in 2008. I don't ever get to really go back up north as much. I only go up there really for funerals of my family or friends, which is sad to say. I wish, and I keep telling my parents this, I was like, I wish you guys would not have sold the house, the house that I grew up in, so I could go back up there. But yeah, so I definitely miss it up there. Cincinnati's a special place. And like I heard that the Over the Rhine is like actually somewhat nice now.
You can go there. You can actually
Yeah.
go there.
That's insane. I remember going there, driving through,
It was so
looking at,
bad.
and there were people coming up to my car asking if I wanted to buy crack. I'm like, no, I'm good.
No, not today.
Yep. I mean, Tyler and I would probably in high school would never dream of going to OTR.
That's not true. I
Yeah.
went there a lot. Well, it was funny because, like, Bennett, the moment that I realized that Bennett was like a little bit farther out in the suburbs than I was, we went up there one time and I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to Over the Rhine," and he was like he could not fathom,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Dude, when's the last time you went to Over the Rhine?" And he's
Yeah.
like, I've never been to Over the
I'm
Rhine.
not allowed to go.
Maybe drove through there in high school, but tried to avoid it.
Yeah, no,
Always-
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
not a fun place. But yeah, it's crazy now. It's like so when we go on, I do a couple trips with a couple groups of guys. We'll usually park in Over the Rhine and like either take the streetcar or get on scooters or walk down to the stadium. And it's like it's so easy. I mean, the parking situation in Cincinnati compared to Nashville is like it's crazy.
Yeah. So when I would go to Reds games, I would park over in Covington and walk across the suspension bridge. It was a lot cheaper and not as chaotic.
Yep. We've done that a few times.
Bennett, have you only taken Sophia, your oldest, to a Reds game, or have you taken Addie or any of your other kids yet?
So I've taken Sophie to her own like individual game. It was just me and her. We went to a game on our own without the rest of the family. Last year we went the whole family, and that was awesome. And so Addie went with us, my middle. And so this year when we go up there, we're going to I'm going to take just Addie to a game so that she can have that experience. Because I took Sophie in 2023. Went to, actually, it's funny because we went to a Marlins game for Sophie's first game. We're going to go to a Marlins game for Addie's first game.
Nice,
so it's funny how that's the connection there. Is that I don't know why I picked that, but yeah, I took Sophie to when she turned 4 to go see the Marlins and the Reds, and it was an awesome experience. We went to the gift shop, and she got to pick out her own baseball cap, the one that she wanted. So of course it was a all pink Cincinnati with the C on it. And then I got this baseball cap. So we'll do the same with Addie. She'll get to go and pick out the hat that she wants, and I'll get a new Cincinnati hat as well. And so that'll be the tradition. Then when Berkeley's old enough, we'll go with him, and he'll get to pick out a hat. And so, but I was just gonna say, of course, the biggest thing for a 4-year-old when they're going to a baseball game is not so much the baseball, but being able to eat the hot dog and get the ice cream in the Reds
helmet.
And they remember that more than the baseball game. Now Sophie remembers seeing Ellie De La Cruz, and that's become she is just
how can
fixated.
You forget somebody like him?
She's fixated. He got 2 hits. He got 2 stolen bases. So she's been obsessed ever since. So I have the MLB app always tells me when Ellie's up to bat. And so I'll just like pull up the game, and
That's awesome.
I'll pull up the game. I'll say, "Hey, Sophie, Ellie's batting," and she'll just run over, and we'll watch it together.
That's so cool.
And it's really funny because they will sometimes they'll be like, "Hey, Daddy, I want to tell Ellie he did a good job." So they'll just talk into like my phone or like talk to the TV, just be like, "Ellie, you did good. Good job.
Good. Nice. That's a good hit, buddy."
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun to be able to kind of see them start to understand it and enjoy it.
Do you wait till they're 4 years old to take them?
For our oldest, I waited until she was 4, and so my wife is very much about keeping things the same for all our kids, and so yeah, equal opportunity there. So that's why Addie, we're waiting until since she turns 4 this year, we're gonna take her to her own game. But she, like I said, last year we went to a game as a whole family, so she got to go. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I caught Addie the other day. She was playing around the corner, and it was after we had watched Ellie bat, and she was just saying to herself, "De La de Cruz, De La de Cruz." She added a day in there. So awesome. She kept going, "De La de Cruz, De La de Cruz." But yeah, it's just fun to see them kind of enjoy. I'm sure, Dennis, it's fun to see them enjoy what you enjoy and kind of pick up on things.
We took Tyler when he was 3 weeks old, I think. So
that's awesome.
Speaking of Barry Larkin.
I was going to say.
So this is my first Reds game. I was 3 weeks old, and they were sitting next to this lady, and she. Or you could probably tell the story, Ben.
I think Dennis probably has a better recollection of this than you do, Tyler. I'm sorry.
I was there.
You were there.
I started telling the story, and I was like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, we were right behind home plate. This was. Were you born? 87.
March
85 is when Pete got 4192. So I'd been going every night and got to know the ushers. So we were sitting right behind home plate with the players' wives and moms and all that, and he was like 3 weeks old, and this lady looks over at Joy and says, Tyler's mom, and goes, "Does your doctor know that baby's here at the?" It was Barry's mom. She held him most of the game.
So
that's cool.
Most of my first game I watched from Barry Larkin's mom's lap.
Yeah, but none of them rubbed off on him.
Yeah.
That's a cool story, man.
But well, getting back to the 4-year-old tradition, we started a tradition when I was obviously we had season tickets, so we went to a lot of Reds games. But when I was it 5?
5.
5 was the age. When you were 5, we would go on a baseball trip every year, and we'd go to a new. Well, for the first few years, it was new. We've done some repeats, but we'd go to St. Louis. We'd go to some minor league parks. But basically, with all my brothers, as soon as they hit 5, they were allowed to go. So we, it went
That's
from me
awesome.
and Dad and another family from our church, and then it grew and grew, and now all of my brothers try to go every year. We've
cool.
kept it up since
That's
I was
awesome.
cool.
So did you try to go see the Reds play at those different
No.
stadiums, or it's just whatever was playing? Yeah.
Just go to a town for a weekend, and we usually spend 2 days. We usually do like whatever museum or zoo or whatever they have there, and then go to 1 or 2 games.
That's cool.
We've been doing that for 30 years now.
We've got Bristol, Tennessee this year.
Yeah, we're going to the Speedway.
Cool.
That's awesome. And
That's cool.
where are you are you going to be able to see the field, or is it going to be just?
I have no idea.
Because
this is going to work.
That's going to be such an awesome experience, but it's also a baseball stadium or baseball field in
a speedway.
I think they missed a really big opportunity with that game by not having cars run around while the game's going.
Jeez.
Yes.
Every time there's a home run, they do a lap.
Yeah. Like I was looking at the seating chart and I was like, yeah, we have decent seats. But then I looked and the racetrack's like 30, 40 yards. I don't know how, but you could have cars drive around during the game.
What if the cars ran the bases on the track in conjunction with the players?
That's how they kept track of who was on bases, have the car go.
Just saying, if it happens, you heard it here first.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Did you guys, whenever you did your first games with your kids, I know now you can do like the certificate where you go to like guest services and they print out like basically a piece of white paper that says my kid was at this game. Did you guys do that for your kids?
Yeah, we did.
For sure.
We did. And I actually pre-ordered it ahead of time and they couldn't find it. So I had to like go to another one.
It was an event?
It was an event. We went down 3 floors and blah, blah, blah. We got one and I framed it and I actually put it already. I have a small mantelpiece of all the foul balls we've caught together. And my dad started, whenever we catch a foul ball at a game, he'd put it in a case and he would make a little plaque that said like the player who hit it and the date and like where it was.
That's cool.
So I've got all those and I've got Casey's first game certificate up there too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you guys scared at any point on like when you did take them to that first game that they would?
I knew that the thing I was worried about was that maybe the noise would be impactful for her. Like she just wouldn't like all the noises. I mean, nowadays they make those headphones for kids that are, so we just got her a pair of those headphones and she did not put those on one time. She just wanted to hang out but like I said, it was more about the hot dogs and needing the ice cream and that stuff, but it was still just a time I'll never forget.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I'm going to we probably went to 20 games a year. I don't know.
15 to 20.
But yeah, that was like my favorite. I mean, that was my time with my dad. Like that was like our time away from mom.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just like we could go and we'd go hang out. And then like I remember really loving rain delays.
Okay.
Because we would always bring our gloves and a tennis ball. And well, you guys, if you're familiar with Riverfront, they had those they were like stairwells you could go down instead of the escalator, and we would just go play catch for hours until the rain delays ended. I just remember like loving that. I was just like, oh, we got a rain delay, and it also meant that people cleared out, and there was like when they started playing again, there was not going to be anyone there. Like, no, we stuck it out through the rain delay. We might catch a foul ball,
I really like the wording there, Tyler, of so your mom had 5 boys And you're saying that you got away from your mom, where I'm sure your mom was very much like, oh, thank God, there's one less of them, you know?
Well, we had there was a rotation. It was, we had season tickets. So like I'm the oldest. So I got the first game of the season.
So you got every opening day?
No, we shared it with our family.
Okay.
We had about 20 tickets every year, but so I got the first game of the season. Then my second, it just went down chronologically who got to go to the game. So I remember in 1999, the Reds played that one-game playoff against the Mets, and it was my brother Jake's turn, and I was so mad because it didn't land on me, and I was so upset. But
I didn't go either.
Yeah, it was my mom and Jake went. Yeah, why didn't you go? I don't remember that. It was like a 3 o'clock. It was a weird time.
It was a horrible game that was shut out by Al Leiter, I think. Yeah. Maybe he got no hit for all I remember.
Yeah, it was just something to look forward to. Like, next Friday, and not just getting away from your mom, but your brother.
Yeah.
It was
exactly. Yeah.
It was just me and Dad would go to a game, and it was like our time. So that's what I remember growing up being. Yeah, this is our time.
Dennis, sorry. I was just going to ask, Dennis, whenever you were growing up, did one of your parents do that for you, or is this just a tradition that you started with your kids?
No, never did. My parents weren't into it. My grandfather was a semi-pro umpire, but
okay, cool.
They would actually take us to Marymount, though, and we would get on the bus and go down to the game at Crosley Field when we were 12. I find hard to believe because I was in a bad area. But they'd listen to the game on the radio and then pick us back up after the game.
That's cool.
That's a different time.
Yes.
How old were you, Dennis?
Probably 12, I would guess.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So that's not far off from me.
You guys did that with me. Mom took us to the bus station, and we were like 13 or 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
12, 13, 14, that's a good time to go off on your own.
Bus downtown and went to the Reds game and caught the bus back.
Yeah.
My grandma used to give us season passes to Kings Island.
Yes.
Every year, and my mom would just drop us off in the morning and pick us up at night.
Same.
And it was just like
same.
Like, we probably went like once or twice a week. I feel like we went a lot. Mm-hmm. It was
during the weekends. I
think it was a free babysitter.
That's how they could afford the season tickets for the Reds games.
Yeah.
Didn't pay for childcare during the summer. Yeah.
Go ride some roller coasters and come back.
Just dig in the garbage for some food. That'll save us some money also.
And no games.
No games.
Just roller coasters.
Just roller coasters.
Gosh. That's awesome.
Yeah, we had season passes to Kings Island too. And that was just the spot to be. I mean, it was so fun. I think we're actually going to take the kids to Kings Island when we go up there in July.
Man, that would be cool.
So
here's a hint for you, a tip for you.
Let me have it.
My cousin actually works there, so I've got some insider info. If you go buy your tickets in Nashville, not in Ohio, because they do pricing based on the distance you are from the park. So it's like $30-something if you buy them in Tennessee. Yeah, because we did my bachelor party there, and
sweet.
Yeah, you did.
We went to a Reds game and we went to Kings Island. It was awesome.
So Cincy.
Yeah. Well, I have 5 brothers.
It makes sense.
Brothers, and the only way to get them all together is to go to them. So
yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, so basically, if you buy it out of state, it's like way cheaper.
Makes sense.
So get them here.
Get them here.
Good job.
And yeah, they're like $60 if you buy them in Ohio, but if you buy them from Tennessee, they're like $39.
Well, hey, I'll take that. That's
there you go.
Yeah,
good
that's some
insider.
Good info for all of our listeners if they ever go to Kings Island.
Drive to Tennessee to buy your Kings Island.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Have you taken your kids to a Sounds game yet?
I have not. Well, no, Sophie's gone to a Sounds game, but it was more of, if we're going to go to a baseball game, I want to go to a
Reds game.
I want to go to a Reds game. Yeah. I want to take them to
Let's do it.
Experience that I remember going with my dad. And so that's, because we'd go to Riverfront all the time. And man, Riverfront was such a good stadium. It was just, Do you all remember when that flooding happened?
Yeah.
And when, I have a clear memory of driving around the city with my dad and my sister and just being in so much shock by going over the river and just seeing just the stadium and just everything just in water, and just it was just that was a random thought, but that was
that's great, man. It brought back memories.
But Dennis, do you remember that that flood?
We had a bit of a, he was awesome, but he was a little bit of a wild Cub Scout leader.
What?
Boy,
where's this going?
Oh boy.
But he worked in construction and contracting. He would take us we knocked down houses, and we did not do normal Boy Scout stuff.
They didn't follow the book.
No. Whatever Pat took us to do, we were doing, and it was holy cow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But because he was in contracting, he somehow had access to the Carew Tower, which was the largest building in Cincinnati at the time. And during that flood, one of our Cub Scout things was we went to the Carew Tower and went up to the top and looked at the flood.
That's kind of cool, though.
It was to the public. You couldn't do that. But he was a contractor. He got his entire Cub Scout crew up there. It's kind of crazy.
That's wild.
That's a cool story,
That's
man.
a vivid memory of mine, because I remember you could see all the stuff underwater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, getting back to the Sounds game, I took Casey to his first Sounds game. And I'll say Cincinnati was way easier.
What's it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. It was easy. I don't know. They're just the setup they had in Cincinnati just seemed a lot easier. I mean, not that it was hard, but.
And Cincinnati, I mean, what I've loved about Cincinnati, taking the kids to Cincinnati, is they have 2 play areas, big play areas for the kids. And so when I took Sophie, we got seats that were just right near the play area. So if she did get bored at any point,
gotcha,
we would just, go out there and she could play on the playground and then go back in and watch the Reds hit. So it's the nice thing about Great American Ballpark is because they built it very family friendly, and there's just a lot to do for the kids. When the whole family went, we couldn't get Addie out of the playground when we had to leave. The game was over and she was playing on the playground, and we had to I had to go up in the playground and take her out.
Get her out.
She was having a blast.
She was having a good time.
That's awesome.
I feel like baseball stadiums are more prone to do that. I mean, I feel like baseball games also used to be an hour longer than they are now. But the Rocky Stadium out here has a playground, and we went on Mother's Day to I think they played the Padres and actually won a game. And the kids the entire time, can I go to the playground yet? And we're let's just at least sit in the seats we paid for 3 innings, maybe 4. We can find seats down there too, because no one's here, but give us at least 3 innings in these seats, and you can have the rest of the game in the playground.
Was Josh there?
Yes. Yeah, no, we did everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. But
nice.
Josh and Magnolia the whole time, which are my middle and youngest. So 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. And we're can we go to the playground yet? Can we go to the playground yet? Can we go to the playground yet? No. Can we have candy yet? Can we have candy yet? Can we have candy yet? And you're just whatever gives your mom a break. Let's go. All right, we got it.
I don't mind that so much as I'm just scared that my kid is very timid, very shy, and if she gets in front of 10 people, she shuts down. So taking her there to where it's just not going to be fun for her. I'm scared about that. So I'm torn whether or not I should take her to something smaller like a Sounds game first before I take her somewhere big, but I'm just scared.
Does she like playgrounds? Does she like playgrounds?
But so my kid takes about 45 minutes for her to warm up to just even one new person. She goes to daycare, so she's around tons of people all the time, but it just takes her 45 minutes. So when we would go to the playground or go on dad walks, when Devin was there, she would like hide basically in her little wagon until about 45 minutes and then get a little bit more. Yeah. As we're leaving, then she can like get out of her comfort zone. But
that sounds right. I mean, that sounds.
I mean, like, whenever we would do home repairs, Josh would hide from them the entire time. Then they would leave and be like, where are they going? And I'm like, the people you ignored for 3 days? Yeah.
I remember the noise thing just triggered a memory but my younger brother, Jake, he was scared of fireworks. And until he was probably 4 or 5, but we would have to, if the Reds were winning, we would have to leave a little bit early.
Yeah.
We knew there was fireworks coming. I just had that, talking about the noise, I was like,
well, when we're up in Cincinnati, we're going to go to a Friday game just so that we can, because my kids haven't seen fireworks in person yet.
Really?
Yeah, they haven't seen fireworks in person yet. And so why not
came to my house?
Why not why not be the first experience at a ballpark and seeing the fireworks there? So I'm really excited. But there's another funny story with that is, as Tyler and his dad know, that, whenever the Reds hit a home run, they shoot off fireworks. And so when I took Sophie to her game, my wife was a little irritated that she was like, I really hope they don't hit any home runs because I don't want her to see fireworks without me. And so it just happened that Spencer Steer hit a home run, but we were in the gift shop picking out Sophie's hat. Okay. So it ended up working out well that like a home run happened, but she still, like, my wife didn't miss the opportunity. Everybody was happy. So yeah. But I'm looking forward to the firework night on Friday and just letting them see the fireworks show and just
that's cool
after the game. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Did you guys watch a lot of the WEBN?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He worked downtown for a little bit in the 90s, and we got to go to his rooftop office for one of them.
Cool.
That was a vivid childhood.
Remember that, huh?
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Dennis had all the Cincinnati access, it sounds like.
Yeah.
That was right before the president went to jail for cooking the books. That was the last year we did that.
And then he started working from home.
I had the ankle bracelet on.
Yeah. House arrest will do that. That's when Tyler went to the most Reds games because you couldn't. All right, as we go to wrap up the episode, Bennett, Dennis, Tyler, if you guys all want to take turns, not at the exact same time, give like a piece of advice for what you would suggest to a dad who's going to take their kid to a sporting event of some sort. What would you suggest or what tips would you give to them?
Don't buy them cotton candy until at least the 7th inning.
Yeah, I actually would agree with that. Is hold out on the treats until the later you can hold out on the treat.
Yeah.
So don't get them wired right off the bat. Okay.
Sugar comes after the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah.
And make them take their glove. That way you have an excuse to take yours.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because you feel weird without a kid if you got your glove.
That's true.
But you were just a prop, Tyler.
Yeah, I was. Wasn't a very good one. We didn't get that many foul balls.
Tyler's like, I thought we were connecting this whole time.
Nope, just a prop. Come on, kid.
I thought I was your best friend.
If I got a ball, I got to give it to a kid. I'm going to give it to mine.
Yeah.
That's right.
I still get to the car.
That is a big. That is a dividing thing in baseball. It's like giving it to the kid. It's like it's like, man, if I caught like a home run ball, I don't know. I feel like a jerk, but it'd be hard for me to give it to a kid.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Do you know the chances of catching this ball, kid? They're pretty rare.
Like if Ellie De La Cruz hit a foul ball and I caught it, I would be torn up to give it to a kid. I don't know. Maybe that makes me a jerk, but
that's why you have a child and bring your child. That's what Dennis just taught us.
I learned a lesson today.
Back in the day before social media, you wouldn't get blasted online for doing something like that.
Yeah, I'd just get booed by like 10 people behind me and the game would go on.
Yeah.
See, it's not going to mean anything to the kid.
Yeah.
And he needs to catch his own.
Yeah. He should have boxed you out for that ball if he really wanted it.
He didn't put in the work. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You didn't even buy the tickets.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a hard one.
Well, I'll go next. I think one of the things that I've learned that I didn't know. I mean, you probably know more than I do, but like that's true. I didn't realize that a majority of stadiums allow you to bring your own food in.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
So like
Really?
you could bring anything into Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati and not spend a dime on concessions.
Man.
And that is I didn't realize was it like that growing up? It was, yeah.
Yeah, it's always been, but
Interesting. I guess
But
I
nobody
never
ever does
realized
it.
that.
I feel,
Yeah.
because they need that. They need the ice cream in a helmet. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that would be my advice. Is hey, you don't have to bring everything. You can get the ice cream helmet, but you don't have to bring everything in. I've been bringing my own bags of peanuts in lately. Once I realized that, I was like, I can bring my own in. Cool.
But they also have food passes where like you can get like food deals, and so that also
it's
helps
like
out.
$20 for like all you can eat.
Yeah.
At the Red Stadium.
Yep. So you just pay $20. One person pays $20, gets the food, and just
keeps making
Passes it
laps.
out.
This is also very. I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a dad, and you probably
Hopefully.
already know this. But I didn't realize obviously a new dad, but I didn't realize the diaper bag situation was so lenient. You can bring that Sounds game that I went to. I accidentally snuck in beer.
oh,
Bennett and I play on a Sandlot team, and we had a cookout. You didn't go to that, Bennett, were you?
No, I wasn't able to go.
We had a cookout at a buddy's house down the street, and I had brought some beer, and I forgot that I had put the beer in the diaper bag, and I went to the Sounds game, and they just they did a little look through, and then they waved me in, and I got through, and I was changing his diaper, and I was like,
oh.
So basically put beer in the diaper
that's
bag.
Not a tip.
Yeah.
And diapers on top.
I'm just putting the information out there.
As a stay-at-home dad who has gone to many playgrounds,
I'm just saying it happened. Saying to do it.
Just gonna say, as a stay-at-home dad who has gone to many playgrounds and events with a diaper bag, maybe having a beer on the side of it isn't the look you want. Maybe having a cold, frosty one on the side might communicate things you don't realize.
Yes.
That was a good. Did you thank previous? Were you like, thanks, previous Tyler? I really am appreciative of this moment.
I sat down and I was like, man, that just saved me $15.
It did.
It did.
Speaking like a true dad of saving money.
Oh, I must spend $15 on this beer.
I would say, especially when you're taking like a 4-year-old, is just not to have any expectations on how it's going to happen. It's just like you're taking the kid just to have fun and just to have those memories. If you have the expectation that you're going to sit through the whole game, Dennis knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, you just kind of set your expectations low and just know that you just do, like for me, just having these small little things that we do, like go get a hat for your first game. You get the ice cream and the helmet, and those little things. As long as I could check those off the list, then that was a success. So yeah, actually, Tyler, funny fact, when Sophie's first game, it was Johnny Cueto was pitching for the Marlins. So he was.
I was gonna say, how old is your kid?
No. Let me finish the sentence. Yeah,
that's the kid he doesn't talk about. That's the kid he's not legally allowed to talk about.
12?
Yeah. Devin, can you edit that last part out?
Sorry, Nicole. Yeah.
No, but Johnny Cueto was pitching for the Marlins, so that was also a fun thing.
Did you get to talk about that, like with your kid, and be like, "Hey, I grew up kind of watching this guy"?
Yeah. We had. I told her that he was somebody that I watched when I was growing up, and that he used to be a Reds, and of course that she doesn't understand that players can change teams and all that stuff. So talking through that, but that was a cool experience, just being able to see a former Red play, and especially for her first game. And so yeah, and Fado played that year. So it was fun to be able to say that I watched a game with Sophie, with Joey Votto playing. So
that's cool.
A lot of just good memories for, it's more about like, you're kind of creating memories for yourself as a dad in those moments. And rather than like expecting her to remember all that, which probably is not going to happen, but you can at least remember those. So yeah.
One of the things he did, the days of physical tickets are probably behind us, but one of the things my dad did growing up was did you save all of them or just
that's
just
memorable games? Like if
that's
he would write on the back what happened.
Yeah.
So like I've texted him sometimes and been like, didn't like the Astros score like 13 runs in 1995 or something? And he sent me like a picture of the ticket where he's written.
That's cool.
Do you have them in a box? Are they in a box, or how do you?
Tupperware folder. Yeah.
That's
nice.
So awesome.
We saw a tie game. That was the one. We saw a tie game because I think it was the year of the strike in '94, and they got rained out and they were going to start it over, but it obviously the season didn't get finished, so it technically was a tie game. And Marty Brenneman was on the radio and said something about a tie game in baseball, and I just texted my dad. I was like, "Hey, didn't we see it?
Didn't we go to that?
Am I making that up?" And I get a text right back where he pulls the receipt out, basically.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Do you have them in order of the year so that you can like file through them? No.
Every time I've asked,
but you gave him a good idea.
Yeah. You found it very quickly.
I mean,
I guess the older ones are on the bottom.
That makes sense.
There you go.
That's awesome. That's cool. Well, I mean, that's pretty much all we got. Yeah, pretty much just thought it'd be fun to do an episode talking baseball because it is like, I mean, the main reason I watch sports or care about sports is because it's such a connection point to my brother and to my dad. It is this thing that like you do start traditions around sports with your kids that like are really cool and really special to be able to do. So Dennis, Tyler, Bennett, thanks for spending like an hour or so with us just talking baseball and a lot more Cincinnati facts than I ever thought I would have in my head.
Yeah, we don't even have to make a podcast. We can just have.
That's right. I was like, when I told Justin, I was like, hey, man, just so you know, we're probably going to have 2 guys on just to discuss Cincinnati sports for like an hour or so. And he was like, why haven't we had them on yet? Like, why? Can we do it today? Like, can we do it right now?
You're telling me this now?
Listen, I'll do it at nighttime so you don't get interrupted during your workday and then you can make it. But enjoy the rest of your nights.
Thanks for having us.
You guys. Thanks,
you, guys. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the episode.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Imperfect Dads Podcast.
And make sure to subscribe and rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to us.
The music is provided by the Wildfeathers.
And all episodes are produced and edited by me.
Make sure to tune in Mondays for new episodes.